الآن يمكنكم المشاركة في مبادرة الأيام الرقمية تحت شعار انطلق بقوة مع جوجل، والتي يتناول فيها خبراء جوجل عناوين جديدة أسبوعيا مثل السحابيات، مهارات من جوجل، أندرويد، فلتر، ذكاء الآلة، فايربيس، ديزاين ثينكينج، مقسمة إلى دورات وورشات عمل يومية بالإضافة إلى مسابقات أسبوعية. شاهد الأيام الرقمية مباشرة على اليوتيوب وشارك رأيك وأسئلتك مع خبراء جوجل، واحصل على شهادة حضور في كل محاضرة تشترك فيها. هذا وأكثر من الأحد إلى الخميس ابتداء من الساعة 9 بتوقيت دبي عبر الرابط المبين youtube.com/GDG-MENA.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well and you're in good health, and welcome to my RxJS series. And today we will explore the error handling strategies with RxJS. And yeah, I think this is the fifth part of the RxJS series. If you missed the previous parts, you can find the links on YouTube, and we will share with you then those links. Yeah, so let's start. Before I start, let me just introduce myself. My name is Lamis. I am GD for Angular. I've been into Angular for the past few years. I'm a senior software engineer. I'm the founder of Angular Tunisia, and I do a lot of speaking, mentorship, and training sessions. Without further ado, let's jump into the error handling strategies. And I think that this is a very interesting and cool part in RxJS. And in every programming language, I mean, errors are should be handled in every programming language, because otherwise your application will like fall behind. Okay, it determines like the success or the failure of your application. Implementing code that only handles the happy cases it's not something like good. Okay, even if it's well written, okay, with all the patterns, etc., but you have to handle the error cases. You have to catch like the errors at runtime, yeah, and to handle those errors for your users. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to learn with RxJS how to handle those errors, what we can do, what are those strategies, etc. But before we start, I want to like explain the contract of the observable, because it's like crucial in order to understand the behavior and how to manage like the errors, etc. And in order to explain this, I will show you the marble diagram again. I showed you this in the operators session, and the operators, learn RxJS operators or something, I forgot. And I explained how the marble diagrams works, what are the elements of this diagram. So I will like again repeat this and explain this one more time, because it's very important in the session today. So the marble diagram is the visual representation of the observable execution. Okay, the operators, especially how the operators can behave. Yeah, and what's the execution like elements. Okay, so in order to sum up, so we have here like the operator that we are going to use, the RxJS operator. We find always this operator in this box. Okay, and before the operator we have the input observable, and after the operator we have the output observable. You know that the operator takes an observable as input and produces an observable as output. Okay, and the operation can be a transformation, can be any other things. Okay, combination. There are a lot of operations or categories of operations in the operators of RxJS. And you find here the elements, okay, the elements or the values produced by the observable, the source observable. When I say source observable, is the observable on which we are going to execute the operator. And here we have the elements produced by the output observable. Okay, and of course, this is the time flowing from left to right that represents the execution of the input observable. Again, here is the time from left to right representing the execution of the output observable. Okay, and there are two things here. I mean, this vertical line and this X. So this vertical line represents the complete notification and indicates that the observable has completed successfully. So whenever you see this, it's the completion of the observable. Okay, now this one is the error. Okay, this represents an error emitted by the output observable. Okay, which indicates like an error completion. The observable errored out. And I want to shed light here on this because those are the two final status. So every observable has two final status, whether the completion, and when we say completed here, it's completed successfully. So the observable emitted values and then it completes. So this is the normal behavior. And it's a final status, which means that the observable will no longer emit values after that. So no values will get emitted. It's completed. Okay, it's the shutdown. For the error case, it's a final status, but saying that it's completed with errors. Okay, so the observable errors out. It will no longer emit values after this. Okay, after the error. So it's again a final state. So after errors, you will not see like values emitted, and you will not see also the completion of the observable. Okay, if you have registered a callback or something, you don't expect to see like your code running there. I mean, in the complete callback. Okay, so two final status: completed successfully or completed again with errors. And after the error is emitted or the observable errors out, and we say that okay, it's closed and no more values will be emitted for the subscribers, yeah, so nothing will get emitted. So how you can behave, how can you behave, how can you do, how can you handle those errors, how can you recover from this error, if you want, for example, to send fallback values or to retry the error, try to recover, just how you can behave with all this. And this is what we are going to see in this section, but I don't want to show you some slides. I want to show you live code. Okay, and I will be using StackBlitz for this. I will go to RxJS and I will try to zoom in. I think it's good. If you don't see and you want me to zoom in further, just ping me. And let's see how we can handle the errors. So let's start by creating an observable. So here we have this observable created by default. I will be not using this observable, but I will use another one. Okay, let me just use an observable which is called stream $. Okay, $. Here is an informal convention to represent the observable. Okay, so so this is an observable. Okay, and I'll be using the from operator from RxJS. Okay, from RxJS operators, and it's not an operator, but it's like a creation factory function. Okay, so but okay, it lets you create an observable from an array. So here I will just put an array of values. I will just put 1, 2, 3 of strings, okay? Or let me just put numbers here. Okay, I will put some numbers in my array, 1, 2, and then I will put on purpose a string value, and then I will put here a number again. Okay, so the from here will create for us an observable. As you can see here, it takes whether an array or an array of strings or an array of numbers, and it returns an observable emitting those values in this array. Okay, so we will see in a minute what this will produce in the console. So here you have, we create a symbol. Now we need to subscribe to it in order to get those values. So I will subscribe, and how we can subscribe by calling the subscribe method. Okay, so I will call the subscribe, and then for every message, for every emitted message, let's say, I will just log this message here. Yeah, as you can see here in the console, we get the values one by one passed as input to the from, okay, the values of the array, 1, 2, hello, and 5. So here you have the values emitted. Now, the first way we learn to handle the errors is registering an error callback, okay, which is this one. You just say that whenever I have an error, I will log this error, okay? And for the completion callback, we have this, the final callback. You see the third parameter. And here we have to log, for example, stream completed, okay? And you see here that the observable emitted the values of the array 1, 2, hello, 5, and then it completed. Okay, so this is like the timeline. The from created this observable, emitted those values, passed as input, and then completes. Okay, in this case, we don't have an error, we don't have like an exception or something, but like we will simulate it. Okay, but before we simulate it, you may have noticed that this subscribe is deprecated. And why? Because I am using RxJS 7. Okay, it's the last version of RxJS, and I am using this in purpose. I remember I animated a session about RxJS 7 new features. You can check it out if you missed it. So this method is deprecated in RxJS 7. It's the method subscribe that takes 3 arguments that is deprecated, okay? And why they did this? So as you can see here, we can have a look in this code. So you can see that we have the subscribe that takes an observer, and we have the subscribe that takes the next callback, okay, which is the first callback that intercept the incoming messages, and the third one, which takes the next, and then the error, and then the complete, is deprecated. So instead of passing separate callback arguments, use an observer argument, signature taken, separate callback argument will be removed in version 8. Okay, so I wanted like to explain this for you, because the old subscribe, this subscribe, okay, you have like the order was important. So you have to pass in the first argument the next callback, in the second argument the error callback, in the third and last argument the complete callback. So the order is important. And whenever you want to omit one of those functions, you have to pass undefined explicitly, okay? Otherwise it won't work. Okay, so this gave much more flexibility. So if you want to rewrite this with RxJS 7, I will show you how to do this. It's $stream.subscribe. So as you saw, we can just like put message with one call with the next callback. So this works. It's not deprecated. This method here is available. So I will just put here one argument, which is the next one argument, which is the next callback. We can do this, okay? Or we can put $stream.subscribe and open like those brackets and put here the observable. Okay, so we have next, and we will put the message, the callback of next. Okay, then I can put error and put the callback of the error, which is this one. Same thing for sorry, here we have to put for every error. I need to do console.error, and here for the last one, okay, which is the complete. Okay, I can just like put this console.log, and I will copy paste this. Yeah, so here we have the same app. It's not deprecated, so this is how we can rewrite this using RxJS 7. Okay, this is deprecated. This is not, because we passed the observable. And you can here, like, if you don't want to implement the error callback, it's fine. You cannot do this. You don't have to pass anything. If you want to like reverse the order, or like I want to put the complete first, no problem. Okay. Okay, as you can see. So it's not like, it's more flexible. Okay, and you can pass I mean like other arguments for it. So this is how we can write this using RxJS 7. Now let's move to the error handling, which is the heart of our talk today. Let's simulate an error. So what we'll see here, what we will like do. So let's I will comment this, okay, and keep only one subscription. Okay, in order to like analyze the results properly. Okay, so here we have the stream completed, we have the completion, and we have the emitted values. Okay, so now let's say that we want to transform those values coming from this observable. I will use the map operator. Okay, and let's import the map operator from RxJS operators. Okay. And here, no, it's not the correct one. Yeah, sometimes it should import the map from RxJS operators. Okay, and here, again, I have a problem. Okay, so it was just a problem in StackBlitz. So here, let's do one thing. Okay, I will just do a condition. I will say that if the values are numbers, are not a number, okay, if my values are not numbers, so here I should say that for every element, I will say here, let me put this. So if it's not a number, okay, then here, let me just see as any in order to make it compile. So if it's not a number, then I will throw a new error, which is, I can put specific here message value, or let's put here the element class is not a number. Okay. So this is for the error element, for the errors. Otherwise, so if it's a number, then I will return this element. Okay, I will return this element, and it's fine. Okay, so here I will close my brackets. So let's format the document in order to make it clearer for you. So here I did map. I am like exploring the received element. I am doing a test. If it's not a number, then I will throw an error. Okay, so throw new error. Element is not a number, and then if it's a number, okay, so this is the happy case, then I will simply return the element. And as you can see here, I have 1, 2, and then it's an error. Okay, an error is thrown. And here, so when the error is thrown, I need to like get the error is produced. The observable will error out, and you will no longer receive any values. Okay, so what you can see here, let me just re-explain it. So here I'm just, let me show you this in order to put it like, okay. Well, so here I am not logging anything in the console. I am just throwing the error, okay? And I am catching the error here, okay? And just log in this error, okay? And so this is the first like basic example we learned in the beginning in order to handle the errors, okay, thrown from our observable. Now, let's like, what's the problem with this? Okay, so the problem with this is that you cannot propose like in fallback values. Okay, if you want to replace the error case or the errored values with one default value. Okay, I want to say that if my stream errors out, I want to send a value which is the default value. Okay, this is what we call fallback value. So I want to do this, I can't. Okay, I am only able to handle the error, to do some treatment here, but not replace the stream in itself, because the stream is completed. It will no longer emit values, and I can't also recover from it. I can't say, for example, that I want to retry the stream. Okay, I want to retry it. I want to do. I want to recover from it. Okay, so I can't do this again, because I will just here, the error will just get intercepted here, and then it will like complete. Okay, it's the shutdown. No more values will get emitted. So what we can do in this case? Okay, so in this case, RxJS has a specific operator for this, which is the catch error operator. Okay, and the catch error operator like catches the errors and returns an observable or rethrow an exception. Okay, you can like rethrow an error or an exception, or replace the observable. So those are like the two alternatives, let's say, when using the catch error, and there's a third alternative that we will explore later. And catch error is like very similar to the try catch statement we all know. Okay, even in JavaScript, you can use a try catch on your element and then catch every kind of exception, or doing like a specific catch by exception in different programming languages and other programming languages. So it's something similar to this. It catches the error and handles it. So let's repeat this with the catch error operator. I only want to reverse this because I am I should do this. Okay, so I will reverse this. Okay, so here I have next, error, and complete, and I will keep this for you. Now let's use the catch error operator, and here how we can use it. So we have here the map. Now I will call the catch error. Okay, and the catch error takes as input here the error handling function. Okay, as you can see here in the official implementation in RxJS. So it takes as input the observable, an observable that has the errors, okay, that comes from the source observable. Okay, so here let's explain it further. I have a source observable that can errors out. Okay, so I will put here the catch error and put the handling error function here. Okay, so it's does not compile because we didn't return the observable, but I will do this in a minute. So here I have the catch error function. So I will just put this command and then I will come back to make it compile. So just follow with me like this this idea. So here we have the stream dollar, which may errors out, and we have we do catch error in order to catch the errors coming from the stream. Okay, so every time we have a function, a value which is not an error. Okay, so the first one is 1, then it's 2, and then the stream will error out, and we will no longer get the 5 value. Right? For the values that are not in that will not cause an error, 1 and 2. So you can see here that the catch error will emit those values systematically for you, for all the subscribers. Okay, so catch error subscribes to the source observable and behaves, if there is no error, it behaves like the source observable exactly. Okay, there is no difference between the source observable and the observable produced by the catch error, because catch error produce an observable. Okay, then if there is an error, then catch error will it's at that moment that catch error comes into play, and it will execute the callback or the error handling function, which takes as input the error and returns the observable that we want to return. Okay, so let's make this compile. So we will here do this. So I have here an error, and I will return the an observable. Let's say from. I want to return an observable of 100 and 102. Okay, so I can here put console.log and log the error coming as input to the catch error. So I will put here catch error plus error. Okay, so let's see what is going on here. Let's save this. I will push all this code later for you so you can retrieve it. So here, what happened at execution time? So again, don't forget that this is our source stream. Okay, I will put this here. Okay, so in order to make it clear for anyone. So here we have this source observable. So for the first value, the first value emitted by this source observable is 1. Okay, so here the catch error, as I said, catch error subscribes to the source observable and just produce the same value because there is no error here with 1. So it will output the value 1, and it will not execute this code which represent the error handling, like the error handling function. Okay, so here it will like produce the same value, which is 1. 2, same thing, it will produce the same value. Now with hello, the source observable throws an error, which is hello is not a number. So the catch error now will say, okay, I have an error. Then it will execute this function. This function takes as input the error coming from the source observable, which is in our case, hello is not a number. This is the error we throw. And it will like log catch error. So I put this in order to say that this error is coming from this catch error block. Okay, so here hello is not a number. I will log this. And then it will return an observable that we call a replacement observable. So this observable will replace the source stream. The source stream, which is stream $, will close. It will no longer emit values because 5 will not get emitted because hello errors out and caused an error. Then here catch error will replace the source observable by the observable produced in the result of the catch error handling function, which is from those 2 values. Okay, and that at that time catch error will again behind the scenes subscribe to this replacement observable, so the values will get emitted 1 by 1, as you can see here. And at that point, the stream or the source stream will complete. And you can see here that the completion message is logged. Okay. So this is the first the first strategy with catch error, which is the replace strategy. You can say, okay, so if it errors out, no problem, I will replace this stream with another stream of values. Okay, and there are a lot of cases that this makes sense. For example, if you have an HTTP request, you are raising an HTTP request, and you know that sometimes the request may fail for whatever reasons behind. Maybe the server is down, maybe you have like some errors, I don't know. There are a lot of reasons that may cause the failure of HTTP requests. And in my UI, I am displaying the data coming from HTTP requests. Suppose that you have a table that displays a collection of data, okay? And those data are retrieved from the server, from an HTTP request. So if this request is not fulfilled successfully, okay, I want to replace those elements with a collection of 0 elements. I want to display to my users an empty table, okay? If you don't handle this and you don't catch the error and do something, you will have like your UI will not get displayed at all. Or if you want to do other things like other strategy, it's okay, but this is an example of a replacement strategy. So I can simply like return. So here we understand that we should return an observable here. So we can just return an empty observable, okay? Or just return empty, okay? And here you can like at the same time replace the source observable, handle the error, and propose or suggest a fallback value, which is an empty value in our case here, as you saw here, of nothing. And in that case, you will see that this does not like emit values. Okay, so you can see here that we have the catch error and then the stream is completed. So you can do wherever you want. You can do wherever you want with this replacement strategy. Okay, those are examples, but in your case, you can like propose many fallback values. There are a lot of cases. For example, you have default values in your UI that you should display, and you are raising a request in order to put the values, but you have to put to your user a default values when there is no value emitted. Okay, so in that case, okay, I would replace the stream that errors out with the value with the default value. Okay, so this is when it's important. Okay, so here we are proposing, or we are returning a replacement observable that will replace the current stream or the source stream. Yeah, and this is the first strategy, catch error, replace strategy. Okay, so let's keep in mind that the catch error behaves like the source stream exactly if there is no error. Okay, so it will subscribe to the source stream, emit those values that the values received. It will emit them directly. Okay, no treatment, no error handling. Okay, no extra behavior. And if there is an error, then catch error will execute the error handling function, which is this function. Okay, so this function takes as input the error, the error that was raised. Okay, and should produce or return an observable. So in our case here, we have this observable. We put like in the first case an observable that has fallback values, in the second case an empty observable, and as explained, there are a lot of cases. And under the hood, the catch error subscribes also to this replacement observable, and then emit those values for the subscribers again. And here, after that, the stream will complete, and you will see the log, or the stream completed log, which is the callback of completion. And you may have noticed that the error here, callback, was not executed. And this is why catch error is here, because catch error handled the error, handles this risky treatment, did something, okay, this replacement thing, and then returned in our case a replacement observable, and the error is handled. So you will not see here any log in the console about this error. Okay, it will not, the treatment or the program will not fall in this section. Okay, in this error callback. Yeah, so this is the catch error first strategy. There is another strategy, which is the catch and rethrow. So we have the catch and replace. We can now catch and rethrow. And what do we mean? What do we mean by catch and rethrow? Catch and rethrow means that we catch the error and rethrow it. And while we rethrow the error, in order to propagate this error for all the subscribers and make them able to handle this error at that level. Okay, maybe it doesn't make sense to handle the error in that case at this level. I want to propagate this error for all the subscribers and handle it at the subscriber level. And again, an example of this, I can, for example, throw the error for the subscriber, and in the subscriber, I want to show a pop-up message describing the error, because the error is very important for the end user in order to change something or to do an action, okay, in order to like fix this error, okay, because in that case it's important to show this error to the user. In other cases, for example, as I told you earlier about the empty table, etc., the user knows that the there's an empty table, so there is no values, maybe there is an error, or maybe there is no values or something. But sometimes you want to, the user need to know the error in order to do an action, okay, to fix it, okay. I don't know, maybe like mandatory fields, like some rules between the fields, some conditions in order to fix in the form. I don't know, some problem in when saving an entity or doing an action in the entity or something. The concept you are displaying, there are a lot of cases. So in this case, it makes sense to rethrow the error. And how we can rethrow the error? So simply here we are doing like return an observable. We can return an observable of error. So here we can return the throw error. Okay, so just sorry. Okay, just throw error directly and say that there is an error. Okay, so throw error here is imported from RxJS. It creates an observable of error. Here I should return. Okay, so here it's okay. Let's save this. So the throw error creates an error observable that will like errors out, and of course it will complete after the error. I mean, the error is the completion, okay? So it will errors out immediately, but it's an observable. And here again, throw error is deprecated here in this version of RxJS 7. And you can, as you can see here, it's deprecated, and you can replace it by throw new error and pass this callback function. So pass a factory function to it. So we can solve this here by doing this. Okay, so now we have like the replacement of the throw error of the deprecated function. So you can whatever use this deprecated or this one, but I really recommend if you are using RxJS 7 to go with the new signature, with the new method, because in the version 8 it will get deleted, so you will have some break and change. So it's better to solve this now in the version 7. So now, as you can see here, I throw the error, and you can see that the error was logged in, okay, because the subscriber catches the error, okay. So this is the console.log was executed here, and the error is logged in here, okay. So this is how we can perform the catch and replace strategy, okay. So we have till now two strategies: catch and replace, or catch and rethrow. Sorry, I said replace. We have catch and replace and catch and rethrow strategy. So how this is the two strategies, and there is another strategy which is catch and, or let's say retrying, okay, which will retry this observable for us in order to like give it another chance to produce things, okay. So we can use the retry when we are not like sure the error will occur. In this program, in this like algorithm, we know that there is always an error that will get triggered or thrown when there is like a string value. Okay, so this is for sure. The exception will get thrown. Okay, so it doesn't really make sense to retry. Okay, because every time you will retry, you will get the same error. Okay, because this error, like, it will get produced for sure. Okay, every time you have a string value. But when you are not sure that the errors will get produced again, I mean, in the case of HTTP requests, okay, sometimes the HTTP request fails because the server is down, or there is an error behind the scenes. So, but in normal cases, it behaves like properly. In this case, it makes sense to retry. And here, so here where the retry comes in handy, it's the retrying strategy. And again, in the retrying strategy, there are a lot of not a lot, but there are different solutions. You can retry immediately after the failure, okay, or you can retry with delay. Okay, so here, for example, in order to retry immediately, we can use the retry and say, I want to give the stream a chance 3 times before getting the error. And as you can see here, you will get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's say I will just refresh it in order to get the numbers right. So I have, this is the first time, 1, 2, second time, 1, 2, third time, 1, 2, fourth time, 1, 2, and then we will get the error. Okay, so we give it a chance in order to retry it. Okay, now this is like an immediate retry, but there is a retry with delay. We can retry after some time, or after a condition or specific condition. And this is what we will be seeing in the next session. Okay, so we have 2 sessions about the error handling. This is the first one, and we will have another session with the retry and the strategies around the retry. So that's all I have to tell you today. I mean, about the error handling in the first session, and we will see the next time the error handling by retrying the observable. So thank you very much for having me. If you have any question or anything is unclear, or maybe you miss things or something, you can reach me on Twitter. So my Twitter is Lamis Chebbi, or you can put the question here. I still have 5 minutes to answer your questions. So if you have any question, please don't hesitate to tell me. Oh, I think there is no question, so I will wrap up. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks for your attention. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.